Okay, so I just wondered if you could share with everyone a little bit about your story, because not everybody knows what an amazing journey you've had.
Yes, of course. So hi everyone, my name is Jayne McMurray. As Emma said, I'm a National Marketing Director in the business. I got involved now 6 years ago, which is absolutely crazy considering how quick I think that time has gone. And I always love just reflecting on those last few years and looking at what my life was like before this business compared to what it is now, and how much happier I am as a person, how much more confidence I've got, all the things that I've learned and the amazing people that I've met. It's just been the most amazing journey. So I love sort of reflecting and looking back on that, because when I very first started, I was working in call centres, and I was one of those people where college, university, like that kind of life just wasn't for me. I was always very money motivated. I always wanted my own little business. I always wanted like something for myself. I wasn't, sort of academic in that way. I didn't fancy going to university and getting a job and just working forever for someone else. That just wasn't ever in me. But I really struggled to find my passion, and I struggled to find what it is that I was looking for. I even trained as a hairdresser for a little bit as well, and when I was working part-time still in the call centres, I used to go to college in Liverpool of an evening, and I used to train as a hairdresser. And once I was trained, I'd do mobile hairdressing. I tried renting space in a salon for a little bit as well. So I tried a couple of different things when it came to sort of hairdressing, beauty therapy, that kind of thing, but it still wasn't fulfilling that one little thing that I always had, this feeling I would find, like it wasn't my passion. And I was still working long hours. I still wasn't earning enough money to be able to support my family. And, for those of you that are in my team, or you've seen me speak, in Edinburgh or in Bolton a couple of weeks ago, my main sort of driving force for wanting to do well, just in my life general, not even in the business, I always wanted to do well because I wanted to give back to my family. I wanted to give me mum money, help her out financially. She was a single mum for a long time to me and my younger brother, so it was always that I want to give back feeling to my family, especially my mum. And hairdressing wasn't doing that. I'd like save me tips. I could give her a free little blow dry every now and again. But that still wasn't fulfilling that little feeling that I had, that there was something more there for me. And one day, 6 years ago, I was flicking through my Twitter account that I had set up for my hairdressing business, and there pops up Lauren Roberts. And I'd seen a couple of Lauren's posts over the weeks before, and I seen her just looking amazing and feeling really healthy, and she had a gorgeous figure, and she just looked so happy and confident. And I kept seeing these posts about, do you want to earn money from home and this and that, and I was thinking, right, I'll just give this a go. I'll message her. There's no harm in just finding out what this is. And I messaged her, and we got talking that night, and I signed up pretty much in like half an hour after speaking to her, because for me, the way she explained the business to me ticks every single box for what I was looking for out of my life. It was the opportunity for me to earn amazing money, to run my own business, to get healthier in myself, to lose a bit of weight, to be more confident, to stop having to work in that shitty call centre. And it was just everything that I was looking for. And we were talking about this, I'm sure it was with you, Emma, when we were in Dubai. I said to Mike, who's my husband now, he was my boyfriend at the time, we'd only lived together for like 6 months, and I was like, Mike, I've found this amazing opportunity where we can earn loads of money from home and all of this, and I was like, it's £65 to register, because that's what it was back then. And I was like, please, will you lend me £65? Like, I'm skint, I can't afford it, will you lend it to me? And he was like, I will, but you're never going to see this money again. Like, this is the biggest scam I've ever heard of in my life. And he did it just to shut me up, really, and was like, I'll do it, but I really didn't think you're going to make anything back. And fast forward 6 years, lo and behold, here we are. We went from living in a flat together, which I could barely afford, to owning our own house, to having the most amazing wedding. Since then, we obviously got engaged, we got married, we had the most amazing honeymoon. We went to Mexico, to Cancun for 2 weeks for our honeymoon in the most amazing hotel I've ever seen in my whole life. We went to New York for Christmas time last year, which we've always wanted to do, and again, could never afford to do it. We travelled to Thailand together, and we spent weeks just island hopping around Thailand. You know, we've done and seen a lot together, and our marriage has been so much fun. And over the last 10 years that we've been together, all of the amazing memories that we've got really is down to this business and having that little bit of extra income to allow us time to be husband and wife and have fun and spend our 20s traveling the world, building this business together. And looking back to, you know, sort of my life 6 years ago to now, it's completely different.
It's amazing. It's lovely to hear. And I knew bits of your story, but I didn't know all of it. But it's so lovely to hear when you see someone have so much success and use it in a way that they've really wanted to. I remember we had a chat on the boat. I think we were talking about him saying that he thought you weren't going to get it back. My dad was exactly the same, wasn't he? He said it was a scam, and my mum and dad didn't even know why I'd borrowed the money. So at least you were honest about yours. So
yeah,
done incredible.
And when we were on that boat as well, Emma, and I was telling that story to a few people because I forgot that had happened. And I was telling that story, and we were on this most gorgeous yacht. It was like the most unreal day. Like, it still feels like that was a dream. And he turned to me and he went, "You still never give me that back." And I was like, "Oh yeah." I never ever give him that £65 back ever. I was like, "Oh well, enjoy your holiday."
Yeah, but I think all those other things that you've been able to do are definitely worth.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever gave my mum hers back either, to be fair, but you've spent it in many other ways. So
yeah,
bless you. Okay, so you've done amazing. Obviously, it's not short of hard work that's enabled you to achieve all that. So can we talk about the first thing, the thing that I think is the most important in the business, but the recruitment of customers and how you've been able to build a customer base for yourself? Is that down to a love of the product, or how do you work it?
Yeah, massive love for the product. So when I very first started, I joined as a customer and a distributor at the same time. So I'm sure if Lauren didn't order my products for me, the first order I did was my own. So I started the products and the business at the same time. And I just ran with it. Like, I absolutely loved them. And to this day, still, hands on heart, think this is the best product in the world. And I don't think anyone on this planet does not need Juice Plus. I don't think anybody doesn't need it. I absolutely love it, and I have from day one since I started taking the products. We lost a lot of weight, me and Mike. We've got a before and after picture, and it's just awful. The before picture is just horrendous. Like, I didn't even realise how much we needed Juice Plus until we found Juice Plus. So a massive love for the product. And when I first started, I remember getting to senior partner month 1, reconfirmed senior partner, and got to sales coordinator within my first 2 to 3 months when I started. And I had one girl on my team at the time. So all of that came from me just sharing my journey every single day, being honest with people, shouting it from the rooftops, just telling anyone that would listen about how amazing I thought these products were. And you know, as I say, back then, I think hitting those positions quite soon as well, I didn't put that down to anything other than how much I loved the products. And when I got to SC, which was like the 2nd or 3rd month, I remember Lauren congratulating me for getting to SC, and I didn't even know what it meant. I didn't even know what I was going for. I was like, oh, like, I've got another promotion, like, that's amazing. But for me, it was product focused, especially in the beginning. I wasn't even looking towards what promotion was next. I wasn't even looking at the bonuses, nothing. I was looking at, oh my God, I love this product so much, and I will share it with anyone and everyone who will listen. So in my job that I had at the time, and in the hairdressers, I used to take the products in with me, whether it was at the call centre desk or whether it was at my salon. I would have the products out everywhere because I wanted people to ask me about the products, because I knew that my passion for these products would come across in my voice and the way that I was standing in front of them telling them how amazing they were. And I still think that now. So I think my passion for the products comes across so much more face to face or by voice notes than what it does just typing a message to a customer or using a template, for example. So what I do, and which is what a lot of my team do themselves, is we voice note people back about the products. And we've done that for a little while now, and it's really, really working for us because we're all a very product driven team. None of us sort of focus too hard on the business and the money and take that away from our love for the products. And we've got people on the team who are, you know, people who train every single day in the gym and they're like little Wonder Women. And we've got people who are mums who give the chewables to their kids. We've got people who've got an amazing weight loss story, people who've got amazing energy and immune system boosting stories. Like, there are so many stories within our team that when we voice note people about the products, our passion for this comes across so well. And I think if you are at a point what I was like a few years ago, because yeah, I got to SC really, really quickly, but then I was there for 2 years because I didn't know what to do next. I didn't know how to build a team. You can't get past SC without a team. And I was there for like 2 years and I didn't have a clue what I was doing in that time. I was so bad at the business, but we can come on to that in a bit. But for us, it was our love for the products, our massive love for the products. And, you know, after that point, I think when I started recruiting a team, we were still really customer focused. And as I say now, whenever we get inquiries, we voice note people back instead of using templates or using words to speak to people. And that has just been amazing for us.
Sorry, I was like, oh, haven't I muted myself again? I think it's a customer base really, really helps when you're establishing your business and throughout your business, because it keeps you excited all the time. It keeps it fresh. And whilst you're helping people achieve their health and their health goals, especially, or weight loss goals, you're keeping yourself connected with the products. And then obviously, you know, that also helps with recruitment. But like you said, if you're in love with the product, sorry, my dog's just being really if you're in love with the products because you're on your journey, it helps so much as well. And I think like even recently I've seen more and more of your photos and your confidence and from the product before Dubai and how confident you're feeling in Dubai. And so people would want to follow that because they see you looking amazing, feeling amazing. So it is so true that how you show up is basically your shop, for, in my opinion, your shop for the product, isn't it? So
your persona and the way that you show up on social media and the way that you talk to people and the way that you carry yourself is you are your own shop window for these products. You can have as many websites set up or as many groups as you want. You know, you are a walk and talking little brand of your own, and the way that you speak to people, you could be selling anything, absolutely anything, but if you're passionate about it and the way that you carry yourself as a person and the way that you use the products yourself and the way that you utilize that every single day and the way that you build that into your lifestyle and the way you talk about it, that is what is going to get people on the products. You could be selling anything and they will go for it because they can see how passionate you are. And it's not a hard sell. Like, these products are not a hard sell whatsoever. We've got girls on the team literally doing like 30 plus orders a month. It's absolutely crazy. And these girls are on live videos every day. They're sharing their journey. They're being so transparent with it and so genuine and letting their passion for the products come across so well that some girls on the team, as I say, are doing 25, 30 and beyond orders a month. And it's no coincidence that the ones who do the most orders are the ones that show up every single day, the ones that allow you to see behind the scenes of their life and what they're doing and what they're up to and why they love the product so much, that it's not just testimonials of other people down their page, it's them every single day. And sometimes I think we forget that one of the main things that we need to do is show people that we're on the products ourselves. and that we take the products every day, and every day show that you're taking the products. And that is so simple, but it's so easy to forget. And even now, 6 years later, there was a time a couple of weeks ago I was scrolling through my own Facebook and my own Instagram, because I do that quite often to see, will someone want to buy from me? Do I look relatable to people? So I often have a little look through and see how it looks to other people. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't shown me on the products for like days. And I thought it's so simple to remember, but sometimes we just forget. And if you are one of those people who is maybe in a little bit of a rut with the business at the moment, or like I was for those 2 years that I wasn't really doing much at the start, if you are feeling like you're in that little bit of a rut at the minute, go back to basics again and start building your customer base again, and start building your own journey again, and show up so genuinely and show yourself every single day. Because to be honest with you girls, like, nobody wants fake on Instagram and nobody wants fake on Facebook. There was a time a few years ago, I think you sort of had this pressure, like you had to look perfect and your body had to be perfect, and you had to have a six-pack, and you had to have like this gorgeous big bum and these perfect, you know, boobs. If you're a man, you had to have this gorgeous body, and nobody wants that anymore. And I've seen that transition over the last 6 years, and where we're at now is amazing. People do not want fake anymore. They want a real person with a real life story, with a real personality, with real traits, with a real look. You know, sometimes I do videos on my Instagram stories, I've got a scrap of makeup on. All right, I'll put a little filter on just so that I don't scare everyone away. But only the little Instagram ones. Like, you know, you've got to just be you, and you've got to be real. And if you are in that rut, take it back to basics and start adapting some of those things that we sometimes forget we need to do, but are the most simple things.
It's so true. Speaks so much sense. So, Wanda, you're having the best month ever. And I just was having a nose at your graph. Sometimes I like to do that, but just to give you, everyone on the call, you know, you're consistently adding new customers, you're consistently adding new team members, and your graph is growing up. So your team is obviously doing the same thing. So you're not just talking the talk, you're fully walking the walk. And it's great to hear all of what you're sharing with everyone. So, okay, so you've got an amazing customer base. Let's talk about recruitment. So obviously you can get so far on your own, but then eventually there comes a time, if you want to progress, that you need to build a team. So what are your tips and advice for recruitment?
Okay, so as you said, Emma, you literally cannot get past, I think you even need a partner plus, I think, for SC. So you physically cannot grow your organisation without a team. And I understand completely if you are somebody who is struggling to grow a team a little bit, or you're somebody who's had a team and you no longer have them, or people have left, or you're sort of struggling to build a team. It's really easy to sit at the other end of one of these calls and hear someone say, go through the numbers, speak to so many people a day, you know, do all of this. But I want to be really honest with you, because this is how I sort of felt when I was trying to grow my team. It is hard, I think, or not hard, it's more, it takes a consistency, and it takes a genuine belief in yourself as a leader before you are able to grow a team. Now, I always had, as I said at the start, this little feeling that there was something else out there for me. And as soon as I signed up to this business, we had these little, I wish I still had it here to show you. We got, you'll probably remember this, Emma, this little like 1980s like franchise pack. It was the most American old-fashioned thing I've ever seen in my life. Welcome to your franchise, like blah blah blah. And I didn't have a clue what half of it was, but in the middle there was this chart called Your Career, and it had our old position names. So it had you know, dealer, DD, SDD, SC, and then obviously your high ones up to NMD. And I knew what the NMD sort of average earnings were a year. And I thought, I want to be an NMD. Like, I don't care what this takes. For me, I am going to be an NMD. And I ripped that out and just threw the rest away. And I pinpointed it right in the middle of my vision board from the day that I received that, which was a week after I started. And that has come to every house I've lived in, every flat I've lived in, every room I've moved up to. My vision board has come with me, and that has been right in the centre of it. And as I say, when you do get to building a team, sometimes you think, I don't quite know how to speak to people. I don't quite know how to train people. I don't quite know what I need to do. And the reason why you feel like that is because you haven't yet got 100% belief in yourself as a leader. And it's something I always did have. And I'd go to conventions and I'd come on training calls and I'd be me on my own. I didn't have a massive sort of sideline. I didn't have a massive relationship with sidelines on my team. I didn't really know them very well. I think social media back then, it's a lot easier now to develop those friendships with your sidelines, but we didn't really have like WhatsApp groups and, you know, stuff like that, local events and that as much all that time ago. So I was pretty much on my own, you know, at the start. And I did struggle a little bit at the time to think, you know, can I do this? But all I had to do was look up at the vision board and go, yeah, I can do this. So what I began to do is, at a time when I thought I was stuck at SC, moving up to SFC, I was developing skills that I knew I needed to become the leader that I knew I would become one day. So every single event I went to, every single training call that I was on, somebody would be speaking in front of me as an NMD or an IMD or a PMD or whatever. And I'd think, right, what skills has that person got that I need to adapt so that I know how to grow a team? And so I've got confidence in growing a team. And it's a little bit like a trial and error at first. Like, you will find things that work for you more than other things. So initially you want to strike up the conversation with somebody. And the best way to do that at the moment, I think personally, is like it always has been: speak to your customers and offer them the opportunity to join your business. To you, that is a really big deal, because you're looking to recruit someone into your team and it could be your first person. You put that much pressure on yourself when really all your customer sees is this lovely message of this girl she's bought Juice Plus from, saying, oh, you know, you're doing amazing, your results are just absolutely fab, like, how would you feel about joining the team and earning a little bit of extra money? That's all they see. So you put so much pressure on yourself to go, oh my God, I can't introduce the business to my customers, I can't post about it on social media, and that is just you getting out your comfort zone and stop putting so much pressure on yourself. All you're doing is messaging someone, offering them an opportunity to earn a bit of extra money. What's the most they're going to say? Oh, not at the minute. Like, okay, fine, take them off, who's the next person? Like, all that no means is not yet. And if my experience can tell you anything, it's that people come back and people watch. And mark my words with that, people come back and people watch. Some people join my team within the last 12 months who have been on my Facebook since high school, and they're only just inquiring about it now. So get out of your own head a little bit and start thinking more logically and a little bit more outside the box, and think, okay, I'm going to message my customers, I'm going to offer them the opportunity, I am going to put a post about it on social media, I'm going to do a poll on my Instagram, I'm going to follow some new people, I'm going to connect with some people, be everyone's best friends on social media. So be liking and commenting on all their things and just be like their little best friends, encourage them, you know, tell them that their outfit looks lovely or their kids are cute or whatever it is. Just build that little relationship up with people every single day, so that when you do start doing your recruitment posts, whether it's a direct one or an indirect one, or whether it's a poll on Instagram, or it's your customer, or it's someone you went to school with, whatever it is, when you end up speaking to that person, they sort of feel like you already know them, because they've seen you on Facebook for so long. So some people show up on Facebook and Instagram every single day solid for 2 weeks, and then they go missing for a week, or they go missing for a weekend, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm back, you know, who wants to join the team? Like, no one is going to want to join your team if you go missing. You are, like we said before, your own walk and talk and brand. People will want to join you because they can see that you are consistent and you're passionate and you show up every single day. Even if you feel like you haven't done much that day and all you've done is show up, then that's amazing, because you have shown up and people will see that going forward. So once you've then started speaking to people about the opportunity, we've got opportunity calls. You know, John does them at least. I know John does them on a Thursday. I'm sure other teams do them as well. We've got the opportunity to voice note people now on Facebook Messenger, on WhatsApp, on Instagram Messenger. You can do a video if you want. It doesn't matter if it takes 100 goes to get it right. If you can explain the business in 5 minutes on a video and upload it to your IGTV or send it to them on Facebook or Instagram, or WhatsApp or whatever, you have got so many different channels there that you can utilize. And what we can never ever say is that we haven't got support or that we don't know how to recruit, because you do know how to recruit. What is probably happening is you're maybe bringing people into the team and you maybe don't believe in yourself or have that confidence in your leadership skills enough yet. And that can always be improved upon every single day. And one way that I did it was, every single time I got a team member when I very first started out, and one of my girls who was probably one of the first ones to join me is called Rachel. When Rachel joined my team, I only maybe had a couple of others, but no one really did much. When me and Rachel come together at the start of our journey, sort of 5-6 years ago, we became leaders from the day that we started speaking to each other, and we started teaching each other how to become leaders. And we do Zoom calls and I would talk like there was 200 people listening to me with a pad this big of all of these things that I've learned within the business over the first couple of years when I was stuck. All those things that I was teaching myself every single day, and how I was making myself feel, and the belief that I had in myself. And I would reel off this big huge training call to my team, and there'd be 2 people on it. There would be 2 people listening, and that'd be like one of my team and one of Rachel's, like, and that was it. But to me, I wanted to speak like 100 people were listening, because it helped me develop my leadership skills then as well. So every single training call, I was on it. I did my own training calls. I set up my own Facebook groups and stuff like that, because I didn't really have that much to go off. And the difference is between me back then to all of you now is that you've got more support from your uplines. You've got the opportunity to develop your leadership skills. You've got opportunity calls now. You've got groups with your upline in. You have got absolutely everything now sitting in front of you that we didn't have 6 years ago, that we had to try and find somewhere within ourselves and dig deep to try and find those skills. You can go on your phone now and go to podcasts, or you can go to YouTube, or you can go and pick up a book or do an audio book. Again, we didn't have that 6 years ago. You know, so you have got everything in front of you now, that if you wanted to develop your leadership skills like I did, don't quit this business until you've developed leadership skills, because that's when you're going to know how good you are at this business, and that's when your business is going to get better. Until you've given yourself the opportunity to look after a team and to develop a team and inspire another person, you haven't given it a chance yet. So take that time to develop those leadership skills and get on your podcast and do your Zoom calls with your team, even if it's one person, and just do everything that you can in that day to inspire yourself and at least one other person. And you will develop those skills a lot quicker than what it took me, and that was 2 years. You can do it in 6 months, 7 months, 8 months if you want to. It's so much easier now.
Do you remember our Monday night conference calls?
Conference Genie? Yeah.
It used to cost you 12 quid to log in if you did it the wrong way.
Yeah, and it'd charge you about 40 quid to listen.
We used to do them every week, and then I'd be like, can you please mute your call? It used to be so stressful.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's so true what you say. You really have to be who you want to be in the business from the beginning, even when, like you said, there was 2 people on the call, but you're still showing up like there's 100, and it's so true. And even now, sometimes if I do a smaller training call and there's like 7 or 10 or 12 people on it, it can be so easy to think, oh, it's not worth it, there's only 7 people, but those 7 people have showed up. So when it's those 2 people that have showed up for your Zoom training, you need to make sure that you give them the absolute best for showing up, so some amazing tips. Okay, so let's talk about DMO. So obviously you still working part-time or working full-time?
I work part-time still.
Part-time.
Yeah.
You're still working part-time. So you still do this as part-time. It just shows it doesn't matter if you, I mean, Lauren was working her full-time business way into her BMPMD, I think. I remember everyone being like, Lauren, are you ever going to stop working? So I think it's important to say that, because you can do this part-time, full-time. You're still doing it alongside your other business, alongside your other work. So what's your daily DMO? Like, what are you doing every single day? That was my next question, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, DMO. So I mean, I'm not going to sit and say that I've got a list of do this, do that, do this, do that. There's not a sort of to-do list that I follow every single day. What my DMO is I want to wake up every day with the intention of getting a customer or bringing someone new into the team. So that's my goal every day. I want a new customer or I want a new team member every single day. And that's not going to happen every day. Obviously, you're not going to get a new customer and a new team member every single day. But if you wake up with that intention and you believe that you're going to do it, and you're going to put yourself in a position to have as many conversations as you can that day, it doesn't matter how you do it. If you wake up with that intention every single day, over time, your pool of customers is going to grow, or potential customers is going to grow, and your pool of potential team members is going to grow, because you're waking up with that intention of speaking to that many people every day. So you're naturally going to be speaking to more people when it is your aim to get someone else on to join your team that day. So the first thing that I do when I wake up every day is, again, maybe I do things differently. I don't have a list. I don't read books first thing in the morning. I don't, sort of listen to like self-development books and stuff like that. I know a lot of people do that, and I think it's amazing. I just do whatever I think makes me feel good and what makes me feel confident and full of energy in the morning. Now, for some people, that is picking up a book and reading like Miracle Morning or The Secret or something like that. And I think that's amazing. I'd love to sort of have the attention span or the patience to sit for like an hour and read a book first thing in the morning. What I do, which is just going to sound so ridiculous, and you'll probably all laugh at me, but what I do is I go in the kitchen and I plug my phone into like the speakers that we've got in the kitchen, and I just put loads of music on in the morning, quite loud. That's going to make me feel good and make me feel confident. And I try and listen to people who I think have got like such an inspiring story about how they got to where they got, and they come from nothing. So I'll listen to, like, one day it could be like Lady Gaga or something, and then the next day it could be Eminem, or just someone who I think, oh my God, this person has come from nothing, and look at me now, like dancing around my kitchen listening to them, like this person's amazing. And anything that makes me feel good and it gives me like a buzz for the day, and that is the very first thing that I do every single morning. I do try and then, as the day goes on, listen to me podcasts. I still do that now. I mentioned about podcasts earlier, so I still go on them and I still listen to like Tony Robbins and things like that, instead of just sitting watching the telly. I'll do that. Or if I'm on my way to work, I'll have it on audio on Bluetooth in the car. I don't listen to the news. I don't really watch telly that much. It's always in the forefront of my mind. My husband says to me, I eat, sleep and breathe this business. There's not a day that goes by or a second that goes by in the day that my business isn't on my mind somehow. I am that passionate about it, and I absolutely adore everything about my business and our company. So I do things that make me feel good, and that is my DMO. And it sounds so stupid, and so like I'm not helping anyone by saying that, because I don't have a list. But what I do is, once I start feeling like pumped for the day, and I feel excited and I feel inspired, and I've had all this music on, I just feel good, I can go on my social media and I can take a picture far more confidently than what I could have done before. And it'll be with me shake in the morning, I show that I'm on the capsules every single day. I'll do a video in the Instagram stories. I'd like to do at least one of those a day. I catch up with the team. I check me report to see how everyone's doing. I'll check in with a couple of new starters on the team, and make sure that I check our customer groups and see if there's anyone who's posted anything or needs any help. I'll look through the customer support groups, the testimonials groups, even if I'm not going to share another person's journey that day, even if it's just my own. I love going through them groups because it gives me like this unshakable, oh my God, these products are amazing, because I've seen all the testimonials in the group. So I love having a little flick through that every day. I love, you know, following, like, I suppose you could call it a bit of a power hour, where I chase up everyone who has inquired about the products before. I chase up people who have inquired about the business before, because I've got that day, I want someone to join my team. So I'll voice note someone again on WhatsApp and I'll say, oh, hi, hon, you're okay. You know, did you have a look at the info I sent or whatever? And I do the same for customers too. I'm just on it constantly. I post constantly. I'm there constantly showing up. I'm voice noting people constantly, because my day is centered around, I want a new customer or I want a new team member. So every day when you say that to yourself, you will do anything that day that's going to put you in a position to think, I can get a new customer now today. And when you do that enough, over time, your list of potentials is going to grow. So you can invite them on the opportunity calls, you can invite them to an event, or you can voice note them and see how they are and make friends with them. You know, so that is my DMO, is just doing whatever makes me feel good and whatever's going to help me get a new customer or a new team member that day. Are we there?
Hello. It just sorry. It just made me go on the big screen. I was like, what's going on? Sorry. You know what? Even though you said you don't have, hang on, spotlight video. Even though you said you don't have a DMO, you listed basically a pretty easy to follow structure. Your intention every day is to get a new team member.
Like, I haven't got a DMO, but this is what my DMO is.
Yeah.
I think what I meant was, I don't sort of write a list down. Yeah. So I don't say, you know, right, I want to do this day. I just do whatever puts me in a good mood. And even when I'm in work, like, as you say, I mean, I still work part-time now. I don't even know why. Like, so many of my team go to me like, why are you still doing that job? But it just, for me, I just think, do you know what I love about this business so much is everything I do and everything that I put into this business, I get rewarded for that on the 10th of every month. And that is my little money and my little thing where I can give back to my family, or where I can say, come on, let's book a holiday, or, you know, I'll do what, that is like my little reward for this business. And keeping that other job reminds me every single day what I'm working towards. It helps me still use the products in front of people. I still get inquiries from that job every day because I have the products out every day. And I think sometimes we want to quit our job a little bit too soon. And I don't think, like Jim Rohn always says, that there is anything more powerful than saying that you work during the day on your wage, on your job, but you work part-time on your fortune. And I absolutely love that. And for me, I work part-time on my fortune. And that is powerful for me to say to somebody who thinks, oh, it's okay for you. Like, you can just do this from home all the time. Like, I've got a job. And it's like, well, so have I. You know, and I still do this from home. And I think it's like a little bit of a driving force for me. And it, as I say, it reminds me every day why I do this business. And even when I'm sitting there at that job, I'm thinking, what can I do next? How can I be better? What is it that I can do more of? You know, how can I get a customer today? How can I get a team member today? Like, you know, what can I do to be better in myself? And that job just reminds me of that every day.
I think as well, it's like you're able, what you just said about being able to say to people, I still work, I still have time to do this. You don't have to spend 24 hours a day on this business. I can still be successful and do it in the other time of the day. Like you said, you've got an audience every single day. And I think a lot of people say to me, oh yeah, but you're at home all the time, so you've got time to do it, right? Because this is my full-time everything. obviously at the moment the kids are at home, but yeah, being able to say, no, I work and I've still got that, and I do this. It's a really great way to sell the business
Yeah,
as well. So
it
yeah,
is definitely.
I remember hearing somebody say a few years ago that they were going to give up their job and they were going to come and do this full time, and they found that they worked harder when they were doing it as a part-time
With a job.
You had to be
Yeah,
so
you
focused.
You do. And I think when you've got a lot of time as well, on your hands, you constantly find yourself saying, right, I'll do that later.
Yeah.
You know, because you've got loads of time that day, you're like, do it, and it never gets done. But when you know that you've got a block in your day where you physically can't work on your business, it makes you do everything that you need to before or after that chunk of time that you know you can't work. And for me, when I know I can't work in work, I'm itching to get out, and I'm like, right, I'm looking at my lists and I've got my little notepads, and I'm like pretending that I'm doing work in the bank when I'm like sitting with like me little vision boards, like little notes, and I'm looking and thinking, right, I can speak to that person when I get out, and you know, I can chase up that person or speak to this team member. So when I get out of work, which I only do full time, part time now, I come out just itching to work. I'm like, right, I can speak to this person, speak to that person. But I think if I didn't have that time, then I think, would I be that excited to speak to that person, or would I sort of just put it off because I've got loads of time? You know, and I always think, like I say to my girls a lot, like, how much do you want this to work for you? Like, everyone's got a different reason why they're involved in the business. Like, you know, my reason, it was so I could get out of that job, and I will one day eventually. I could do it, it's just that I don't really want to at the minute, but I've achieved everything that I wanted to achieve while I've still had that job, and I think anybody can do it. And of course, there's been steps along the way that I've taken, because the job that I'm in now wasn't the job that I had when I started Juice Plus 6 years ago. It was a different job. And for a few years, I was what's called a contractor. I don't know whether any people on here has ever done contract work before. You're pretty much self-employed, but you work for like different banks and like financial organizations and things like that. And the money is amazing. Like, when you're a contractor, money is good. Like, you're getting paid, like, I don't know what it works out a year, probably what's good for like a normal financial job, it's like 40 grand a year or something. And that is good money for a contractor. And I started doing that job about 3 years ago, and I was going for NMD at the time. And I could not be a contractor in these banks and be, you know, self-employed and all of that, and be paid daily, like a few £100s a day, is you cannot be on your phone. You have to be so responsible and so focused on what you're doing. But I was sitting in that job every day. It was in Manchester. I used to get up at 6 in the morning, drive to Manchester from Liverpool in the rush hour, do an 8-hour day in Manchester, drive all the way home, another hour and a half drive home. And the only time I had to build my business was that half an hour lunch break that I had in work, and then the odd little 5-minute break, and literally an hour when I come home. And I remember seeing my business start to struggle a little bit because I'd taken that job on. And going for NMD, like, I wasn't earning amazing money with Juice Plus yet. You know, it wasn't enough. It didn't take over what I was earning in that job. But I remember thinking, this job's not going to be any good for my career with Juice Plus. And before I say this, I don't want anyone to just go and quit their job because I'm going to say this. But what I did was I started weighing up in my head how much this business meant to me and all of the things I wanted to achieve. And I stood and looked at my vision boards, and I thought, I'm not ever going to have that financial freedom if I keep doing this job. I'm never going to be able to give back to my mum, you know, and help her financially if I keep doing this job. I'm not happy anymore doing this job. I didn't have my music on, dancing around the kitchen, because I didn't have time to do it. You know, and I looked at that job and I thought, I'm not doing it anymore. And what I actually did is I went to a bank which was around the corner from where I lived, and I applied for a job there about 2.5, 3 years ago, part-time, and my wage went down by almost half. And I remember sitting in the little interview room, and the woman that was doing my interview for this job I'm in now, this part-time job, said, Jane, like, I can see, you know, from your CV, the job that you're doing now, I've done contract work before. You know, I know what you get paid for being a contractor. why do you want to come and work part-time in this job, which is like half of your monthly wage gone? And I had to just make something up, because obviously you're not going to sit and tell an interviewer that you've got your own business and all of that. But for me, I thought that temporary sort of little decision and that temporary loss means that I will have more time to build my business and work on my passion for this business, and I will be able to go further in my Juice Plus business and earn more than what I was earning doing that contractor job. And what happened then is, about 6-8 months later, I hit QNMD. The following year, which was last August, I hit NMD. And I now earn more than what I earned when I was doing the contractor job. You know, and sometimes, like, I think we make these decisions based off things that we don't really actually want. And I just think sometimes we have to turn to ourselves and lash the excuses away. Because I could have said, right, I've been stuck at SC now for a while, I can't work this business anymore because I'm working in Manchester every day, I've just got no time, I'm not doing it anymore. But when I turned and looked at that vision board and I seen everything on there that I made like 5 years before that, and thought, I'm never ever going to give up on this business ever, and every decision that I've made has been to benefit my business. And again, I don't mean go and leave your job, like, that's not what I mean by it. I just mean, how much does this business mean to you, and what decisions are you making in your life to put this at the forefront of your mind and to make this business your priority? Because when you do make this business your priority and you start treating it like a business and you put your absolute all into this business, it will repay you in ways that you can never even imagine. But you have to be the one to believe that you're worthy of it. And I said this when we were in Bolton like a few weeks ago, like, people only ever quit anything at the point that they think that's all they're worth. And that could have been me with that job. I could have quit Juice Plus because I was working in Manchester, didn't have the time, and I'm not worthy of being an NMD. Like, all I'm worthy for is working in a bank, so I'm just going to quit Juice Plus because I'm not worthy of it. You know, we always, people, it's human nature, you quit the point you think that's all you're worth. But sometimes make the decision to think, do you know what, I'm worth more than this. And I'm going to go on to do and be whatever I want to be because I know that I'm worth it. You know, and just never ever give up. That's my last bit of advice to you all. Before I go on for like 3 hours ever,
No,
I've got a habit about
you're amazing. And I think that story is so powerful because we talk about short-term vision, long-term vision, and I think the phrase is short-term sacrifice, long-term gain.
That's it, yeah.
Right? And that decision that you made was so smart. You can see the strength of your knowledge and understanding of business, and you're such a smart businesswoman, and you can see how I obviously didn't know you before you joined the business. You're obviously a smart girl because you were working in a bank and you had that job as a contractor, but you can see how much you've developed your mind for this business because everything you're sharing is just gold, and everybody in the call's going nuts. There's like 40 messages in this chat that I haven't caught up on about how people finding this so inspiring. So thank you so much, because
thank you.
It's just such a different viewpoint for people as well to see that, you know, you can do this working part-time, you can do this, just the things that you've explained have been absolutely spot on. So just before we go, because I know we've taken nearly an hour of your time, would you just give us one top tip just right now in the situation that we're in? Obviously, most businesses are, or most people, most businesses, they're going through a struggle. This is like an amazing time for us, right? Health is key right now. And you've had the best month you've ever had in 6 years. So what's your one top tip for people to take before they leave?
In general, just quickly, because again, I know I've taken up a lot of your time this evening, but in general, my one biggest tip is always, whether it's products or whether this is business, want this for other people more than you want it for yourself. Getting promotions are great, getting bonuses are great. It's not as great when you've got no team to share that with. So I find it so much more inspiring. I get so much more from seeing my team get promoted than what I ever get towards me getting promoted. Like, the excitement is real when it's my girls. Like, for me, it's like, oh, great, you know, that's amazing, but I always want it for people more than I want it for myself. Bear in mind that can be, just quickly, it can be dangerous territory when other people don't want it as much as you do. So always bear that in mind as well, and work with the workers. Give 100% to people who give you 100% back. Work with the people that you bounce off the most and the people who want this the most, and be there for them and want this for them more than what you want for yourself. Bearing in mind, just a quick tip, because things are so different now, that's my top tip always, but things are so different now, of course. That tip still stands, but what I want everyone to just sort of take away from the situation that we're in at the moment is, at the start of March, there was a lot of worry, I think, amongst a lot of people, and quite naturally, like, people in my team as well, you know, were saying, oh my God, you know, what's going to happen to our business? This is really scary. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. And there was a lot of that going on at the start of March. And we came together as a team more than ever before. And we made a decision on purpose to say to each other, we will not let this affect our mindset, and we will not let this affect our business. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to forget about Payline, we're going to forget about points, we're going to forget about PB, and we're going to forget about getting our next promotion, how much we're going to get paid on the 10th of April. What we're going to go and focus on is pulling together, being an example for other people, being a little shining light in someone's day. And we are going to go out there and we're going to help as many people as we possibly can. And that was our mission at the start of March. And we forgot about everything else. And we said, let's go and help as many people as we can. And what happens after that? Obviously, today, we had new senior partners, we had new SCs, we had new QSSCs, people reconfirming. We had people just hitting their PB that hadn't hit their PB for a while. And, you know, as I say, a record number of new customers. And I can honestly say that as a team, all we did in this month over the last 4 weeks is put other people before ourselves. And that's why that tip still stands. You have to come out of yourself a little bit, and you have to stop focusing so much on why you want this for you and what this is doing for you, and start looking at the opportunity that we have to go and help people. And when you make that shift in your mindset, you know what, amazing things happen, and you do genuinely help people, and your business grows, your check grows. It's a reflection of the amount of people that you've helped, and that's what we did this month.
And you absolutely deserve all the success you have. What a beautiful way to explain the business and explain what to do in these times. I just want to say the most massive, I'm going to stop recording now, but I'm so glad I pressed record